Maybe it's going to be boring to repeat what I've said maybe tens of times, but I'm going to say that and to repeat that for millions of times. The old Egyptian civilization is our gift to humanity, and it's going to remain such amazing civilization for the whole world. And here we are going to tackle a very important topic, which are the exhibitions we are participating in outside Egypt. Some voices are saying why we are doing so, they should come and see our monuments here. And others would say, no, it's a wonderful way for marketing for our touristic sites and for our cultural civilization, our cultural tourism and our old civilization. Let's hear now, listen to an expert or a specialist who are going to answer all our questions regarding this topic, and even to know more and in details about the most recent exhibitions we were participating in. We are very much delighted to have with us Dr. Mahmoud Halougy, the former director of the Egyptian Museum. Thank you very much for being with us, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, before going into the details, let me first know your or your vision about participating in international exhibitions. As I said in my intro, some would say why we are doing so. It's a must that the tourists or the guests come here to see our cultural sites and to visit our monumental sites, and others would say no, it's such a wonderful way for marketing and for letting the whole world know more about our cultural heritage. Which is which?
At first, I would like just to draw your attention that we are not participating. It's only an exhibition for ancient Egyptian antiquities in Shanghai, in China. So the whole exhibition is about Egypt, about 788 artifacts, real artifacts, about ancient Egyptian civilization. So we used to send such broad exhibition long time ago. In my opinion, this kind of exhibitions is doing a great campaign for the Egyptian tourism and encourages lots of visitors to come to Egypt, since coming to Egypt is very or a great dream for each person all over the world. So I think this kind of exhibitions helps very much to increase incoming visitors or incoming tourism to Egypt through such kind of exhibitions, which shows the other citizens all over the world lots about Egyptian civilization, about history of Egypt, about artifacts and all these types, which will help in tourism to come to Egypt.
Sir, of course I do agree with what you have said, but in my question I was speaking about the two kinds of exhibitions. Those whom we were participating in, like the one like Berlin exhibition, for example, and other exhibitions like the one in China or in Shanghai in specific on top of the pyramid, which is totally and purely Egyptian. But sir, since you mentioned it, you mentioned this exhibition in Shanghai is for a whole year. I mean from August 2024 to August 2025. Don't you think that a whole year is such a long time?
It's not a very long time. I think the organization, the institution which applied to launch this exhibition from the Egyptian government is at least they did a feasibility study for the number of visitors who are coming to visit this museum. I would like to tell you that at the same time, as I mentioned, the feasibility study, but according to the increasing of number of visitors, they opened a new session for visitors from 5 till 9 in the evening. This means that the visitors are demanding more time to see and to visit and to know more about Egyptian
Because
civilization.
simply it's a China. China, millions and millions of people. And since we are choosing China, or we chose already China, meaning that we are invading another market, that we are attracting Chinese tourists, and I think that this is a brand new market. Unfortunately, we were not successful in attracting the Chinese people, but now the case is totally different. How do you see opening this new horizon? The Chinese market, I think, is a very rich one, if you agree with me on that.
Of course, it's a good target for the Egyptian tourism, is to be able to or succeeded in attracting a new market of China. China is not really a new, but it's almost new, like not like other markets like Japan, like Korea, like England, like United States, like Germany, but it's like China is we can say less than 20 years ago started to asking or lowering some Egyptian artifacts. I agree with you that this market is huge and very large, since the population of China is not an easy to be able to attract them to come to Egypt. But at the same time, as I told you, Egypt is a dream of every person all over the world to come to see pyramids, Sphinx, Luxor and Aswan, and everywhere in Egypt is a dream for everybody all over the world.
And it seems that there is a strategy or a plan to invade new markets like the Chinese market, as we mentioned, and I think there are also plans to attract the Indian markets, for example, because also the population in India, if we receive only 1 million from each country of those annually, this is going to be a huge addition, if you agree with me on that.
Of course. I would like to tell you that Egyptian tourism is working hard to attract new markets, as you mentioned. One of them is China, and the most largest population in the world. As you mentioned, as India is also comes
another huge
second
market, yeah.
after in high population after China. At the same time, there are many other markets in Asia, especially Asia. Asia is a new market to Egypt for tourism.
Dr. Mahmoud, of course, I should seize the opportunity that I have the honor to have you in our episode and speak about the importance of renovating our museums in general all over Egypt, because this is really one of the priorities of the state, and particularly the Ministry of Antiquities and Tourism.
This is really a very important issue that Egyptian authority, Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities are interested in renovating and establishing new museums and renovating the already being museums. This will help in let the visitors be able to watch and get some information about Egyptian civilization with such renovation of lighting system, showcases, with labeling. All these aspects of museology would help very much visitors to know more about Egypt, and makes the visit very successful and fruitful for the visitors, which will give a chance to the visitors to tell more about Egypt when they go back to their countries.
Amen to that, sir. Sir, I'm asking this question because when we speak about an initiative or an exhibition, to be accurate, like on top of the pyramid, and we know that there are thousands of artifacts there, the very first idea which is going to come to the minds of the visitors if the exhibition in Shanghai contains thousands of pieces. What about the museums inside Egypt? What about the open museums in Luxor, for example? Do you think that this comparison is going to be for the best interest of our cultural heritage and our cultural tourism?
The exhibition of Shanghai, the number of artifacts, 788 artifacts, which is considered a very huge number of real artifacts from Egypt to go abroad, which will help and increase and let the visitors to have a full and great idea about the history of Egypt and civilization. At the same time, the museums in Egypt, they have a variety and rich number of antiquities, like for example the Egyptian Museum in Cairo houses about 150,000 of real artifacts of only one civilization, the Egyptian civilization.
Yeah.
While in other worldwide museums, they have plenty number of exhibitions, but from different civilizations.
Yeah.
Like British Museum, like
The
Louvre,
Hermitage in Russia, Berlin in
Berlin
Germany.
Museum. They collect some artifacts from every place all over the world. But the Egyptian museums only concentrate on Egyptian civilization.
Yeah.
Whether ancient Egyptian civilization or Islamic civilization or Coptic civilization, that's the difference between Egyptian museums and worldwide museums.
Yeah.
I think the civilization of Egypt is very rich. Even the other museum worldwide, the Egyptian department in all worldwide museums is having the great interest of the visitors in these museums.
Sure. And of the most popular and most visited parts of all museums all over the world, as you kindly mentioned, and we mentioned the Hermitage, Louvre, Berlin,
British,
you name it, British Museum. But sir, I'd like also to have your vision regarding the latest initiatives launched by the Ministry of Antiquities and Tourism to attract more visitors, using social media, using many marketing methods, using the exhibitions we were talking about. How do you see these initiatives, sir?
I think these initiatives are playing a great role, especially time being, like social media. Ministry of Antiquities and Tourism is giving a great attention to this media because it attracts more interested visitors to watch these initiatives, and also reminds them to remember coming to Egypt, and also prepares these visitors before coming to Egypt to have enough idea about Egypt. I would like to draw the attention that while the exhibition of Shanghai is taking place, there are many other activities from Ministry of Tourism and Antiquities, such as the Egyptian Authority of Tourism Activation and Egypt Air, some travel agencies, some hotels are displaying and showcasing Egypt in different way, different programs, different visits, different accommodations, all the available facilities they can do to help visitors to come to Egypt and to facilitate their visit while being in Egypt.
And they succeeded in doing so, and particularly when it comes to this summer, the second edition of El Alamein Festival, which became, I think, one of the stories of success we have in the summer. And also, I should seize the opportunity to speak with you about El Alamein Museum, because El Alamein Museum, for example, is one of a kind, because it would attract people or visitors from Italy, from Germany, from Britain, because they can touch themselves the belongings of their ancestors, those who were participating in World War II, and they even are buried here in Egypt. So how do you see Al Alamein Festival as also one of the attractions in Al Alamein to visit Al Alamein Museum?
In fact, such activities like the Festival of El Alamein attracts many visitors, not only from Egypt but from all over the world. I think this is a good opportunity to the visitors to see the nature of El Alamein, seashore, hotels, the museum, and all aspects they can able to see. This will also let them enjoy their visit, spend a nice time, and ask many of their friends, relatives to come to.
Because there is a variety of activities there.
Of course.
Yeah.
As well as you mentioned before, that the Ministry of Tourism is launching and establishing new museums, such as the new administrative capital museum, which will tell about the capitals of Egypt, since the ancient and the first capital of Egypt in Memphis, near Saqqara, and passing by
Thebes,
Thebes comes in the New Kingdom, and while Akhenaton was Tal al-Amarna, and other Alexandria, when Alexander the Great came over Egypt. So all these capitals will
reaching القطائع الفسطاط, Cairo, till we reach Cairo. This is going to be a very interesting map, I think.
Also, as well as the museum in Hurghada, in Sharm el-Sheikh.
And the reopening of museum in Sohag, in Elmenia. I think we deserve that every single governorate in Egypt to have its own museum, because Egypt is a very rich country.
Really, we have many different museums in all regions of Egypt.
Yeah.
And Egypt, as you said, deserves this, and because the land of Egypt and civilization of Egypt deserves that most of the people love and dream to come to visit Egypt.
Dr. Mahmoud, thank you very much for your input, sir. Have a very good day.
Thank you.
Right after the short break, we are going to return back with more.